the truth.
Do you feel that like entertainment, television, the internet, video games, have all of this played into why we are not at our best right now? Is it too much isolation for
I think
us?
part of it is a lot of people love money. The love of money can be the root of all evil, and we
love money.
But in perspective.
In perspective,
yes.
Can I say it again? In perspective.
In
Absolutely.
perspective.
And so money doesn't come first. There's so many other things that come before you get to the money.
That's right.
That if you're not complete and whole and happy within, money is merely going to be something that's going to come and go and can eventually make you miserable.
And going back to another old adage.
Oh, cross my fingers.
Right. It's just like they say, if you don't have two nickels to rub together, but
that's what Grandma used to say.
That's what Grandma used to say, and Grandma always knows that.
Right.
And if you are happy with nothing, then that's when you know, even if the money comes later, you will still have that sense of happiness.
Right. It's like we talked about in another show that we had done when we talked about money, and how we talked about, it's only a problem if the person was a problem before the money.
That's right.
If you were problematic prior to the money, you're probably going to be a problem times 10.
Right.
Right.
So times 10.
That means you're going to be a pain in everybody's neck.
Everybody's
totally reckless. Exactly. Totally reckless.
Yeah, you won't be able to buy a friend. But
that's right. Not a true friend.
Okay, so let's get down to some solutions. So what are some healthy ways to become competitive? If someone feels they're not competitive or they are competitive in a negative way, how can they become competitive in a healthy manner?
Well, it has to definitely be through education, because right now, currently, we are ranked dead last in all the developed countries in the world.
Yeah, and that shouldn't be.
It should not be.
Right.
And once again, we lack in math and science. We lack in high school achievement.
And we see that firsthand.
We see it firsthand.
No such thing as bad people. We make bad choices.
That's right.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And the beauty in that is it gives us the option to reassess and redirect what it is that we're doing.
Right. And isn't it wonderful to have that option?
In addition to that, education, I think it falls under education, the umbrella is so large, is good leadership. Once again, I go back to our President Barack Obama, setting the bar high, but very attainable. But there are no more excuses.
That's
great leadership, great role models, correcting the little things that go along not only with children, but with adults, self-correcting and learning that leadership in a competitive globe involves teamwork. It's and there's no I in team. So you've got to look at, once again, the whole and everyone doing their part versus just you.
Exactly.
And that means parents, you are included in this.
We can't do it without you.
You can't do it without you. You are the leaders in your household.
You are the
and
leaders.
You must teach your children to value the importance of education, working hard, having strong ethics, morals, values.
In essence, another old adage you hear, you got to walk it and talk it.
That's right.
Oh,
Absolutely.
I've heard that in a long time.
And that's where and I say it out loud to remind myself first,
That's
we
right.
all are leaders in our own way. We all are educators.
It's so true.
Yes.
It takes me back to when we were little. I remember Mother always tells a story and we laugh about it. We have a picture of us. If I could find it, I'll put it on.
Oh boy.
Well, Renee and I, when we were little, this is when Frank was in Babyland.
Oh yeah, I know this story.
Swimming away somewhere.
Right. He was waiting on his cue.
Right. We had these little rocking chairs. Mine was light blue, Renee's was orange. And Mother said, she would always keep her camera ready because everything Renee did, I would watch her and do.
I'm glad she doesn't do that today.
So Renee would sit there, Mother said she would sit down, and she said I would sit down, literally I'd be looking right over at her, and she'd peek and see that I was looking at her, so then she would cross her leg to the left, then I would cross my leg to the left.
That leg cross to the
Then
left.
she would
She's going upstream now. She's crossing to the right.
If she goes left, I go right. Exactly.
Competition.
But again, it just goes to show someone is always watching you.
Sure.
Someone is always paying attention to what you're doing, so you are inspiring someone even when you don't know that you are.
That's right.
And they're listening.
Absolutely.
They're listening. There's a difference between hearing and listening, in my opinion. I always tell my students, if you hear my voice, you might hear wah, 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 wah. But if you're listening, you're taking in what I said.
Right.
You can dialogue with me. You can repeat what I said.
Absolutely.
You can make some relevance out of what's going on in that conversation. So that is true. When you don't think someone's looking and listening, they are looking and listening.
And that's why it's important also to put your best foot forward.
Yes.
Right. That's the truth.
In life. I don't care if you're in school, going to a job interview, you have a college.
We can read your mind, so it's okay. We don't know the words.
A college interview. So whatever the case may be, you always need to put your best foot forward, and you need, and this helps to spark creativity. I truly believe the other reason why Americans aren't performing their best because we're not creative. Why? Because we lack the desire. We don't have the.
Maybe we're comfortable.
We're too comfortable.
Yeah.
We should be uncomfortable now.
We should be.
We should be very uncomfortable in this economy.
Right.
We should definitely be uncomfortable. And then just getting back to hard work.
Yes.
Not expecting a handout, but expecting to work hard to get what you want.
And when it's the old adage, fall from grace. When you fall from grace, we've got to find a way to fall gracefully.
That's right.
Yeah.
We've got to find a way to be able to pick ourselves up, reassess the situation, and hopefully by looking at the whole picture versus the sum of its parts, there are going to be people in place that can reach out to you or that you can reach out to that will help you to redirect your goals.
Well, again, if you notice, even within families or within the country, most times if you do fall and people see you're trying to get back up, they will help you. If you fall down and just lay out flat, they're going to walk right by you because they figure you have no desire to move forward or to pick yourself up. So we've got to help ourselves first.
Speaking of that, what are you going to do to be more competitive? What's one thing?
Well, you know what, Frank? Again, I say to you, I'm not a competitive person. I always think of competition in terms of, again, stepping up my game for me, doing my best.
Yes.
Have I done my best? Can I sleep at night with what I've done that day? So I think it's just a matter of a daily regimen to assess myself and reflect and say, have I done my best? If I haven't, what things can I change to be better? So that's just an ongoing thing for me.
Exactly.
What about for you, Renee?
And I agree with Tanya, but I would also add on, I know that they would agree with it as well, is just realizing that it's not just about me.
That's right.
We get so self-absorbed, and you have every right to look, you take care of yourself first, because if you're not good for yourself, you're not good for anyone else.
Right.
But then you got to think beyond just yourself. There's always someone in need, and if you keep on living, you'll be in need too. If you pass them. So it's really about knowing that, the world is bigger than just our backyard, and it's not just about us. So if we don't extend ourselves to one another, then somewhere along the line, just like we're seeing with what we're dealing with today, we all suffer.
That's right.
So it really is about getting back to being a neighbor, getting back to being a family, getting back to being a community, getting back to the global instinct of all of us. We're all a part of this together and in this together. And I think now that we have this great president, I'll say it again, President Barack Obama.
Yes.
We're inspired. And inspiration is a big deal. That has to do with it too.
Change is possible.
Change is possible.
Always.
We must continue to inspire ourselves and each other. So.
Now what about you, Frank? Is there
Frank,
something
what about you?
Well, I think, like you all have said, I was listening as you all were responding, and
were you listening?
I was listening. And, it makes a lot of sense in terms of you just want to keep improving yourself. And doing the best you can. But sometimes I can be a little, I don't want to say snippy, but a little flippant.
We all fall short.
We all fall short sometimes, but for the most part, there's always a goal to improve.
Yes.
Sure.
And it's the old adage, treat others the way you want to be treated. And it doesn't get any simpler than that.
It sure doesn't.
It doesn't.
And on that note, keep in mind that the purpose of competition is to bring out the best in you.
That's it.
Just like us.
That's right.
Again, thanks for being with us today. Again, I'm LaTanya.
I'm Frank.
And I'm Renee.
And we'll see you next time
in the hallway.